to the Homestead Kitchen. Today we are making one of my favorites, homemade brownies. So you want to preheat your oven to 325 degrees. So the thing about brownies is they're so delicious and they are just so affordable to make. You can buy a box mix, usually around here for under $1. So to make homemade brownies, you almost have to love making them. But for us, the biggest thing is trying to get away from so much pre-packaged food and wanting to treat ourselves a little bit here and there. So I love this brownie recipe because it's super easy, and usually if I'm going to make it, I will actually double or triple or quadruple this recipe, make a whole bunch, cut them up, put them in the freezer so that I do have something quick and easy right there when I want it. Unfortunately, I'm a little low on cocoa today, so I'm just going to be making one batch. I add 1 1/4 cup of butter to my pot. I've just got it on low heat. My butter is actually straight from the freezer, so it is going to take a while to melt. 1 1/4 cups is 2 1/2 sticks. While the butter is melting, I am going to add the sugar right to that butter. I'm adding 2 1/2 cups. I look forward to the day when I figure out how better to bake with honey. I haven't tried brownies with it, and this is all the honey we have left until honey comes into season. I'm surprised it lasted us as long as it did, but we did kind of keep it in the cupboard so we wouldn't think about it too much. I'm going to stir this in just because my butter is starting to melt, and then I am going to add my cocoa right away. I'm going to be adding 1 1/2 cups of unsweetened cocoa powder. So I want to make sure my cocoa, my sugar, and my butter are all melted and combined together really well. I just have it on low heat. I find that that seems to work great without having to worry about it burning. I like to switch to using a whisk right about now because it's time to add some eggs. I'm going to be adding 4 eggs, but I like to crack them one at a time into a separate bowl just to be sure I don't have any eggshells. I'm keeping it on low. I'm going to add that 1 egg, that first egg, and really mix it in. I don't want chunks of cooked egg in my brownie. Three eggs. Then we're just going to stir in the rest of the ingredients. About 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm using this pink Himalayan salt, and I find it's a little bit stronger than other salt, so I always go a little bit under what I would like to use. About 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I haven't tried these yet with my bourbon vanilla. I think I'm going to wait a little bit longer on that bourbon vanilla before I use it again. I do have a little bit of vanilla I have to use up first. I'm going to add about 1 cup of flour and mix it in really well. I think brownies is one of those unique desserts because it's mostly butter, sugar, and cocoa, and as far as the ratio goes, even mine has a lot of flour in it, but it's still nothing compared to cakes or cookies. Almost finished. My timer just went off, so usually I'm able to just about get this finished being made when the oven is ready anyways. Then I feel like I'm not wasting too much time. It took me a little longer doing the video. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm gonna mix this in really well. The last thank you, buddy. High five. Such a big boy. The last ingredient I'm adding What? Are you eating mango? Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want one of those chocolate chips? Here. You can have 2. I have them right here. You're smart. So the last ingredient I'm adding straight to my pot on the stove is about 2/3 cup of chocolate chips. I just want to mix in the chocolate chips a little bit to give that extra little burst of chocolate. I use a 9x13 pan to make my brownies, and I'm just greasing it with some butter. If your pan is a little bigger, you could certainly use that, but you really want to watch them, because I think the most important thing when you're making brownies is to not overcook them. The best brownies to me are ones that are still gooey on the inside, whether you just make them or not. Brownies are one of those super versatile desserts. You can add just about anything to them that you like, and they're gonna taste great. One of my favorite additions to brownies is not so healthy, but it tastes so good, is just a little bit of grenadine on top right after it's been baking a little while, and it just kind of makes the brownies nice and moist and has that kind of like chocolate covered cherry flavor, which is so good. I love to top my brownies with about 1/3 cup or so of chocolate chips. I'm gonna put them in the oven now that my oven's preheated for about 30 to 45 minutes. It's gonna depend on the size of your pan. If your pan's a little bit larger, you might wanna go a little bit longer. But the important thing to watch for is that the outside edge of your brownies is starting to get done. And I love to use my glass pans because I can check the bottom by literally lifting it up and looking at it. But I've never been disappointed with an undercooked brownie. I've only ever been disappointed with an overcooked brownie. So don't overcook your brownies. While my brownies are baking, I'm going to mix up some quick vanilla ice cream in the KitchenAid mixer. If you'd like to see my recipe for this, I'll link a card up above where I use my new bourbon vanilla to make vanilla ice cream.
Wow.
There you have it. Perfect chocolate brownies every time.
Aww.
That you can have just about...
Nah.
Shh, we gotta cook it.
Go.
I'm meaning to dump it. It's not an accident.